Hey guys! If this is your first time on my channel, I'm AmazzonKane. I'm a writer. I obsess over AmazzonKane's. I do rewatch videos. That's what this is. And my ultimate goal is to run an official reboot of the series. You can even see what that would look like on my channel, as I organized a small team to revamp the theme song. This is Labor Pains.
Today is a rotten day. On account of today, I have to ride home from school with my rotten brother.
Oh boy. And they take after their mom in terms of driving.
No. Can you roll up the window? No. Can you stop the car on account of I am getting car sick and might throw up?
Puke on them!
Oh, I thought you were gonna hurl. Hey, stop for budgie burgers.
Did someone say budgie burgers? All of a sudden, I am suddenly feeling better.
She's gonna need food to puke up.
Here, Angela, you get the kitty meal.
At least they're feeding her this time.
I'm way too old for those stupid... Hey, it's Astronaut Bob.
Oh, cool.
Fly through the skies for a budgie burger and fries. $5? Say, what did you fellas do? Rob a bank or something?
Back when $5 meant something.
You mean Mom and Dad pay you each $5 a week, each and every week?
No, the week they went to Acapulco, we got $10 for taking care of you.
Ain't that some
My
shit?
allowance is only $1.25. How can Mark and Derek each make a weekly allowance of $5 a week?
Your brothers do twice as much around the house, honey.
And they're twice as old as you.
Twice as stupid.
$1.25? Gosh, Angela.
Yeah, that's
I have to
bullshit.
admit, your allowance is pretty low.
Why? How much do you guys get?
I earn a well-deserved 5, but I believe the going rate is at least $2.50. Overtime notwithstanding.
$2.50?
Yeah.
I get $2.50 or 2 slices of pizza.
I get $3 a week, although I'm just as happy to get paid in trinkets and baubles.
So everybody's allowances are higher than mine? It's not fair.
Especially considering all the work you do.
Work?
You do chores and stuff.
Oh, okay, now I get it.
Huh. Every week I take out the garbage once a week.
That's it?
And, I make sure it stays out.
Therein lies the problem and the solution, Angela. If you do extra chores around the house, your parents will have to pay you more.
What a smart plan, Gina Lash. I may never be twice as old as my brothers, but I bet I can do twice as much work.
So she's not planning on making it to 16?
Thanks. I think.
Aw. Wash the baby. Yes.
Good for another 1,000 miles.
Pine fresh. Thanks, Angela.
And the thing is,
You're cooking rocks, Angela. Can we be excused now? Rock and Wrestle Brain Smack is coming on.
After you clear the table and
it
help
is
with the
implied that
dishes.
the Anacondas are not particularly wealthy. They're middle class, maybe lower middle class. And I don't understand if they just... if it was just harder for them to have extra money to give kids for spending.
We think you
But I think-
deserve a little extra.
Here it
That's
comes.
awesome.
5 smackaroonies.
Here's your allowance.
And an extra 50 cents.
Wow.
50 cents?
By golly, you've earned it.
But
Wow.
I did all that extra work.
Oh, gosh, Angelfish. We thought you were just being nice because you know it's your mother's birthday next week.
But
No. This is why you need to communicate.
It's not enough. Gina Lash gets $5 a week.
Well, I know it may not seem fair to you, but we feel we're paying you a reasonable amount for your age.
Besides, Gina Lash is an only child.
Great. Now I'm being punished
Sure.
on account of Mark and Derek being born. Them being born isn't punishment enough.
You really should have negotiated
Excuses.
with your parents ahead of time.
Negotiated?
You've got so much to learn about labor relations.
Huh?
Your situation isn't
Dude,
just
don't be
about
condescending.
age discrimination, Angela. It's about the exploitation of the underclass. It's about fighting for
Oh,
what's
this is
right.
relevant.
Wow.
Besides, if we allow your parents to underpay you, it'll set a bad example for parents throughout Tapwater Springs.
Yeah.
It's time for you to strike,
Relatable.
Angela Anaconda.
Even if it...
Sounds
is on smaller scale, but still very relatable. Every artist can tell you. Pay you an exposure.
Who cares? I get to follow Gina Lash all day.
Let's imagine that Mr. and Mrs. Anaconda are the dictatorial bosses of a multinational corporation, and Angela is their underpaid employee. Going on strike is the most effective way to protest and demand a higher wage.
Why does this feel like it'd be a PSA on
Why are we doing this
on
again?
something like Nickelodeon?
Here comes
But I mean,
the
it's
tutorial bosses now.
Hi, kids.
it's.
Well, what's going on?
I mean, it's an important message, but sometimes some of these lines feel a little bit PSA-ish.
But today I cannot, on account of I am striking.
With all due respect, Mr. and Mrs. Anaconda, we're supporting Angela's stance that her current allowance is unconscionably low.
We've explained our position, Angela, and we feel it's fair. But I guess you have a right to protest.
Besides, looks like you kids are having fun.
Oh, and we picked up some donuts from Mapperson's. I'll leave them on the table in case you rabble-rousers want a snack break.
Oh God.
Mapperson's.
Does not take Gina very long to betray her ethics.
Okay, time to sing Kumbaya. And 1, 2, 3.
Wait. Wait, what?
This strike doesn't seem to be working very well, Gina Lash.
Haha. Gina abuse.
Just be patient, Angela Anaconda. Even small-scale revolutions take time. The key to our strike is blocking anyone from doing any chores in your house.
I was also kind of hoping they'd have a trash fire going.
You're crossing the picket line.
Too bad. We can't play brain smack on tall grass.
Scabs! How can I strike from doing my chores if my overpaid brothers do my chores that I am not doing for free?
Don't worry, Angela.
Huh.
We'll strike until justice is served. Or until lunch is served. Gotta go.
God damn it.
Kumbaya, my lord. Kumbaya.
I am relating very hard to this. But I
Want
don't.
some help, Mr. Anaconda?
Thank you, Gordy.
Gordy, what are you doing?
He's an old man. His back could snap.
Thank you, Gordy.
So much for solidarity. Boy,
Thank you, Gordy.
really learn who your friends are, huh, Johnny Abadi?
Also, whoever voices Mr. Anaconda has good comic timing.
At the pizza parlor. See ya. Come back, Johnny Abadi. The strike's not over. No. Kumbaya, my lord. Kumbaya. You too, Gina Lash?
Gina's.
You talked me into this crazy strike in the first place? Well, from now on, the only striking I will do is striking it rich. And I will be the boss, and everyone.
If I were a rich man, yeah, baby, dum.
Chauffeurs must now drive me anywhere I want to go.
I'm relating way too hard to some of this.
And since you crossed my picket line,
Oh my God, Angela Anaconda's an oil tycoon.
my picket fence. That is, if you want to get paid.
Also, it's another one of those. Mark and Derek are so much better.
I will say.
Oh my God.
Since you have struck out on my strike, you must have some extra time to do some extra chores.
Wow.
Here are some water buckets full of soapy water.
Okay, Gina, I understand, but
Of everything.
damn, she's exploiting her friends in the revenge fantasy.
Everybody.
Gina, at least I understand,
Justice
but
is served. Dinner will be served too. Bring me some fast food and make it fast. I will demand.
Oh my God.
Sure has made me hungry.
it's another one of those examples where Mark and Derek are great as side jerks, but not as the main antagonist.
Suppose I will allow you your allowance, and it
Wow.
won't cost me but a pretty penny. Don't spend it all in one place. It's worse than I thought.
Yep. Looks like Gina's an even bigger scab than we are.
Yep, totally, 100%.
How could you go against me, Gina Lash?
How could I indeed, Angela Anaconda, when I spent the last 2 hours conducting intensive labor negotiations on your behalf?
Which,
Have?
mm-hmm.
What does
you a raise.
You did?
How much you want to bet she took a cut?
I doubted my best and smartest friend, Gina Lash.
But you also have to take out the garbage 3 times a week.
Well, at least I got a raise in my allowance.
And like they say, Angela, there's
I
no
don't know.
such thing as a free lunch. And believe me, I ought to know.
Well, there is today, Gina Lash. Come on, lunch is on me.
I 100% think Gina took a cut. Either way, while this one is just so relatable, these are definitely issues that still very much are present today, and it is very well reflected here in, in a small town, not smaller scale, but the way it's depicted is very, very relatable, even though the situation's not exactly, the details are different, but the emotions and the situation is still very, very relatable. Yeah. Yeah, people making excuses to pay you less for whatever reason they choose to make up, just the whole imagining what it'd be like if you did have money, and yeah. In the fantasy sequence, while I did find it really funny that Angela was the one on top, I'm not sure how much I liked it that she was exploiting her friends, and that actually is an issue that comes up in another episode. But it was still funny. It was still, the emotions in this one are very strong and very, very, very real and very, very relatable. So yeah. So that made it was definitely easier to connect with, and you definitely rooted for Angela here. It was, yeah. It just is so hard to get paid sometimes. But there is something to be said about asserting yourself and knowing what you want and demanding what you want from those in charge and fighting for change. I will say there were a couple lines, some of Gina's lines felt like something that you'd hear in a PSA, but aside from that, this really didn't feel, the episode didn't feel like a PSA. It felt, the emotions were sincere, they were very genuine. It didn't feel like it was about the message. It definitely felt like it was a story about characters and what the character's going through, instead of, we're writing this clearly to teach you something, which can definitely come across sometimes in kids shows. And even in Angela Anaconda, there are sometimes it feels like, okay, this is about the message, but most of the time, when it does do satire, at least the better times, it does hit very hard, and this one is still a very relevant episode for today. You do relate to her, and like I said about Mark and Derek, I also like that, she's angry at the situation, because it's also a very risky thing to show Angela being angry at her parents, but the situation is very relatable, very understandable, and her parents are still nice people. But you definitely relate to how unfair the situation is. And that is a tough balance to strike. I also really liked Mark and Derek being side jerks. I really like when they're side characters, but not the main antagonist. And yes, it was funny to see them in the revenge fantasy. Yeah. Not sure how I feel about Angela fantasizing about being the exploiter, but you know what? I'm not gonna think too hard about it. Either way, what else is there to say? It's nice to get paid for your work, and you often do have to assert yourself in many, many situations. This is a good episode for that. It's very relevant, relatable, maybe not the funniest, but the emotional center is there and the feeling of relatability, and there is enough fun and creativity that does make it worth it. There is heart in it that pulls it through, even though her friends have to leave for whatever reason. So, yeah. Yep. Very relatable.